been going through this every event of the year because it was like the pages you go in. I'm just going to town with this crazy book. And volume 2, which will be out hopefully by this summer, is 286 pages. It's bigger than this one, and big old volume. I'm going to read to you a couple January holiday poems in from the book Every Event of the Year, Volume 1, January through June. And I always like to make the joke when I say I'm a vegetarian that I've got a faux leather-looking cover for the... I'm like, well, it's not really, it's just a print. But these are odd holidays that I'm pulling up for you. Did you know that National Nothing Day actually exists? January 16th is National Nothing Day.
And what do you do on that day?
I have no idea, because I can't function doing nothing. It just doesn't work. I don't know.
I think there's also a National Procrastination Day.
Probably. I'll get back to you on that later. I have no idea. This one is called From Hydrogen to Nothing. Love is like tap water, free-flowing. Remember when you were little, just put a glass into your faucet and quench your thirst? Wait a minute. It's not like that. Water isn't free. You even have to pay for the water that you get in your own home, and it's not even clean. What you're getting is dirty, and you still have to pay for it. You know, they say us humans are like 70% water, and when I think of you and all of the time that we were together, well, if you're 70% water, I have to remember that it wasn't pure and clean with you. If this was love, if this was you, it wasn't free. I'm still paying for it. I mean, they say we're mostly made of water, hydrogen, oxygen, but it's like you were an electron from a hydrogen to me, one electron spinning around the center of me, always keeping that all too tight grip on me. I would think I was free, and there you would be, that one presence I could never get rid of. You were spinning, orbiting, spinning my head. You were keeping your distance, but still, you made sure that you were always there, holding me down. If we're mostly made of water, then you spun around me, and you spun around me like that hydrogen atom electron. You kept me gasping for air. I needed that oxygen. I know water is hydrogen and oxygen. I know I've got it in me, but I've just got to keep myself together after dealing with what you have done to me. When we're 70% water, by mass, we're only 11% hydrogen, which means all that mass in our body may be oxygen, but by an atomic percentage, we're 67% hydrogen, meaning most of the atoms in our bodies are hydrogen. Just one electron spinning around that nucleus, just spinning and never letting go. When I now think of you, and I think of the fact that you made me feel like nothing, well, I have to think that you're what you're made of, and I have to remember we're all made of atoms, protons and neutrons, infinitely small, tightly wound together in that nucleus, surrounded by, at a comparatively vast distance, an occasional tiny orbiting electron. So when I think of you, I have to remember that you're made of those atoms with really tiny cores. But those atoms are filled with so much space that you're mostly made of nothing. When I think of you, I remind myself of this. When I think of the nothingness you made me feel and the fact that you should mean nothing to me, this is how I must think of you.
Back and forth between dimensions, creating the whole universe.
Oh my God, you're messing with me just way too much. Every once in a while, I like to ask the question, like, how can you have a rogue planet if a planet has to actually orbit a star? If you see a rock out in space, you don't know if it ever orbited anything. So how do you call it a rogue planet? It's just a rock. Are you sure? Do we know? Do we know that? Well, I guess in the
Probably has-
creation of the universe, that things were started by orbiting before they got out there.
Maybe it
So-
has tattoos or something.
Okay, two shorter ones for you.
They're not tribal tattoos, though.
That's right. On the neck.
No teardrops.
No barbed wire, no.
No.
No. You know, those aren't rogue.
No.
Those are mainstream.
They're quite mainstream, actually. Sorry. Both of these holidays are on January 20th. So if you're looking for what's up on January 20th, Opposite Day is one of them. Here's a short little poem called Opposite. If you put a book in front of a mirror, you'll only see the words in reverse. If you look into a mirror, you'll only see the opposite of what you are. And on January 20th, which some of you may have heard, but I'm going to share it anyway because it's actually Penguin Awareness Day. Penguin Awareness Day. I'm telling you, Penguin Awareness Day. I got a penguin jumping photo. I got my jumping penguin photo in this book for you. This is called Ocean's Call to Dive. It's just fun to say it. I don't know if it's fun to hear it, but this is called Ocean's Call to Dive. The Gen 2 penguins run down the mountain to the rocky edge overlooking the Southern Ocean. They get into a single file line overlooking over at the edge. One jumps in, then another, then a dozen more. The last penguin in the line gets to that edge after all the other penguins dove into the Southern Ocean. The last penguin steps back and forth on his feet in place together. He turns around, looks at that mountain, then he looks back to the water, rocks once, steps in place twice, looks back again, and then he just turns into the ocean and dives in.